Okay, and we are live with Stationeers once again. So off stream, I did what I said I was gonna do, which is make a bunch more materials, recharge, get all our needs taken care of. So we can we can start straight up with construction again. But let me do a quick recap of last time. Last time was pretty much the same as today, which is we're gonna be doing more base construction. We found a good spot, I hope. Our base is going to be half entombed inside of a mountain, but that's probably going to be cool. We set down the basics for power generation. Hello Ito, welcome back. So we set down the basics for power generation, and now we just need some cables to run over, and once we have a proper power grid, we can move the lathes over from the life support nugget to this new base so we can construct much better. Anyway, let me get the game up on screen soon. Well, before that, today the goal is... I'm hoping that by the end of today's stream, we'll have the lathes all over the new base construction location. Because that'd be good. And once that's done, we can start building the atmospheric section. I'm hoping. Though, I'm gonna guess that the real blocker is gonna be that we probably won't have enough resources, so we're probably gonna have to do another mining run eventually, but whatever. Let's get started. Boop! So, we're right in front of the base already? Well, the base. The skeleton of a base. And I wanted to put down heavy cables all over the place, so we can finally start on the power grid. So let's go. Up. We're gonna need some lights around here. Up. Where's the actual cable I'm supposed to connect? All the way over here. Alright, so just go laterally for now. Hopefully we have enough cables. Come on. I think that's enough. Come on. Come on. Let's go a bit to the left. Come on. One more. Then go down below a bit. Come on, do we have enough cables? Come on! That was like 60 cables, we're halfway done. I think we can do it. Come on. Almost there. Okay, that's a bit too low. Nah, it'll be fine. Yeah. Aha! It connects. Do the batteries charge? If I turn you on. Aha! They are charging. Okay, so now we can get started on the real power grid. You guys go this way. Let me have this heavy cable run right up the wall to minimize crossover with all the other cables. Please connect to the transformer. Boom! That's wow, that was right enough. Just enough for this to start working. So now if I have the transformer start working, it should be charging the APC. Right? Right. Okay, now we are in a cold environment, so the batteries will lose charge passively. But it looks like we're producing enough power to counteract that. Okay. So it's gonna have to be lathes laid out around here. I think one's gonna be right over here, so I should move this cabling a bit. Okay. I think we can start putting down the lathes in here. Ooh, we are losing charge though. How are the windmills? They're rotating. Not that much, to be honest. But we have a lot of them. Okay, well, this is done. Let's start working on the next section. What supplies did I bring? A bunch of steel sheets. Iron frames. A bunch of steel frames. Okay. Oops. Ooh, and stuff for the airlock. Yeah. Well, actually, I'm missing... Am I missing a bunch of stuff? No, we can do the airlock. So you... do something like this. Okay. And then on the other side... I want some gas tanks. Give me a sec. Gas tanks. That way they'll make repressurization easier. Thank you. And we also want a pressure regulator so it doesn't explode. It's gonna be a back pressure regulator. When the pressure gets too high, this thing will turn on. That's backwards. That's the correct. Okay, and let's say we want, I don't know, 30,000 kPa. So when it goes above 30,000 kPa, it's going to release the air back into the place, into the base. Come on. Come on. 10,000 more kPa. And we can also program for the outdoor to not repressurize and just let the air come in. That'll be fine. Done. Okay, so this should make the airlock cycle much faster. So I won't need to manually cancel it. Now we have a bunch of frames. Yep. For the atmospheric section. So let's put down some frames, at least as a basis. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a pretty big section. And I also wanted the roof to be done like this. What am I even gonna put on the roof? Think about it. You know what? Let's not have a framed roof for the atmospheric section. Is that a good idea? Yeah, no, it'll be fine. Oh, the dog is here. Hey, doggy. Okay, so we can do it this big, and maybe if I need... Now we're not gonna wall it up, because maybe we need to extend this a bit more. So just in case, we're gonna keep the extra frames, in case we gotta expand this, and we're gonna have to go and get a bunch of our atmospherics machine and start building the atmospheric section. And once it's all built up and we have all the pipes down, then we can close it. Just so we don't, like... constrain ourselves to the room. Okay. This section is probably gonna have to be... I wonder. This section here, this little hole, might have to be either filled in to be like a little maintenance corridor where I can put a bunch of pipes through here. Or it can be open and we can use insulated pipes. I don't know, we'll see. Let's just keep welding for now. Also gonna empty out the waste tank. There we go. Boop, boop. Almost out of batteries. Yep. But thankfully, I think off stream, I think I did that off stream. I put a bunch of large batteries in my other tools. So we can just swap them around. No problem. Oh, that's a hole. That shouldn't be there. Let me just go get a frame. So I wonder if I should dig a bit deeper so all these frames aren't full of dirt. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna dig a little bit just to undirt all these frames. There we go. Looks much better, I think. Okay, and then same thing over in the atmospheric section. Oh boy. Okay, maybe first fill them in, then dig. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, we'll wait. We'll wait for them to be full. Yeah, what was I doing? Oh yeah, frames. There we go. And that's all we needed. Back to Weldon. Excuse me. Ah. So this will be the access corridor. This will be the little transition room between all the other rooms. On this side, this can be the living room. Next to the atmospheric rooms can be the botany room. Next to this living room can be the communications room for trading. Then down this way can be the rocket manufacturing room. Though we'll have to build the actual rocket out here. Also, I gotta dig this up a bit. There we go. We get all these floating pieces of dirt. Boop. Okay. Back to welding. How's the battery? Meh. It's meh. That's another transition room between the workroom and all the other rooms. We'll have this middle room have a program to open and close doors as we pass through. That way we can have a secure, compartmentalized base that won't be an inconvenience to us, hopefully. I'm gonna see about motion sensors, maybe, to open and close the doors. Okay. That's all the battery this had. Next. Swap him out. Oops. Swap him out, please. Okay, please. Boop. So the next step is to get all the frames moved. That's gonna be a bit of a pain since they all have a bajillion materials inside of them, so we'll have to move the frames, their construction materials, and maybe we're gonna have to do another trip to go pick up all the materials. Anyway, that's the basic atmospheric setup put down, at least. It's not completed, but it's on the way. I think we have to go back now. Yeah. Let's go back home. Oops. Time to move all these lates. Ooh, wait. Before I do that, house power. Right now, it's not supplying anything to anyone, and it's charging up pretty decently. I'm gonna guess by the end of this, once we have the atmospherics rooms done, we'll have to put down more wind turbines. Uh-oh, please, we're over, move! Move! Okay. Good thing we don't have damage collision with our rover. I know the trader shuttles and the rockets do have collision. So if you put if you build your rocket indoor, it's either gonna explode indoors or demolish your roof or something. Okay. My base should be around this bit over the over there. How are my needs? Air is halfway done. We need another nitrogen filter. Battery is pretty low. And we're about to get thirsty. So yeah, just in time. We'll have a lot of organization to do. Especially because once the leaves are downed, I'm not gonna be able to print anything until we rebuild them. So we gotta make sure that we have everything we need. And that means more wires. A lot more wires. Hey, there's my base. I just loaded in. I'm gonna park in the garage. Because I'm gonna guess a storm is gonna be coming at some point. Eventually. Maybe. Presumably. Okay, calm down. Here we are. Oh yeah, look at that. I can see the storm light from here. Yep, time to park. In the garage. Okay, so we're not leaving until the storm passes. Because I don't want to have my rover destroyed by the storm. Okay then. Well, and the good news, this means that my battery in here is going to be supercharged from the wind, from the storm. Ooh, and in my other base too, it'll be supercharged. Okay. Here we are. So let's think this through. What do we need? What do we have to make sure that we have before we move the lathes? I think just wiring. Ooh, and filters. Yeah, let me get some filters. Filter. We want the nitrogen filter, not the medium ones because they're more expensive. Small ones. And the carbon dioxide filter. Okay. Thank you. We'll check the rest outside so that they can be destroyed by the storm. Let me also switch out my batteries. The tools we used. Okay, and I'm going to switch out the battery from the tracker so we don't get lost. Alright. What else do we need? Probably to switch the air bottle. Okay. We'll have to get more oxide in this machine soon. Up. Do we have any oxide in reserve? We'll have to check. Okay, stop. Oh. Turn on a little bit more. Yeah, that's enough. Yeah, we can do like 1 or 2 more refills like this, so we'll need more. More oxide. How much water do we have left? Let's check. We have... I can't see the pipe because of the thingy, but I'm gonna guess more than enough. Based on nothing. Let me go melt some more oxide. We're about to get a bunch of power anyway. Thank you. You guys get destroyed by the storm, please. Right. That's water ice. That's oxide in here. Okay. Don't bring this inside in my open hand because it's gonna melt and we're gonna have water all over the floor, which is a bad thing that when it happens. You know what? I think I should make like an observation room in my base so I can see these sites because it looks pretty. It looks pretty. And then if we're all on the ground, then we won't be able to see nothing. Anyway. Let's first melt some oxide. Okay, in the meanwhile, let's print some more heavy cables and regular cables. I want a stack of heavy cable. We're out of gold. No, don't we have more gold? Yeah, you have plenty of gold. What do we even have gold? Oh, the storm started. Oh yeah. Print that up, please. Do you have copper? Nah, you have copper. Okay, so I want a stack of heavy cables, another stack of small cables. Meanwhile, let's get to deconstructing all these machines. Well, before I do that, I'm going to combine all our resources in the electronics printer. That way they all get be dispensed in one big block of materials, and not 500 blocks of materials, of the same materials too. Let me take off my suit while we wait. Ugh. Yeah, that's the downside of having an underground base. We won't be able to have too many windows like these. They'll all be indoors and windowless. Okay, this thing is done melting the oxide. So it has a bunch more air to give. Now give me some water. Thank you. And now we wait. Keep putting this stuff in there. That's it. Oh yeah, we have a bunch of atmospheric devices in here. I guess we'll have to move them eventually to the new base. The time was never right for this. Anyway, let's start deconstructing. That's a lathe mod. Keep it up. Angle grinder. That's plastic sheets. Goes in here. Wire cutters for some cabling. Boom! Like, that's one. Next, the tools manufacturer. Pick up the mod. Drill it. That's the plastic. That's the wires. That's the steel. I mean iron. Excuse me. Okay. I can't really fit another one. That's enough. Okay, put that in here. Put that in here, I guess. Now, a stack of regular cables, please. Okay. Well, now we just have to wait for the storm to be over. How's my battery? It doesn't seem to be charging that much. Maybe it's because of all these machines working at the same time. Especially the ice crusher, who's an energy eater. Oh, you know what I need? I need to move my furnace to the new base. Because we are gonna integrate it to our atmospheric setup. What's the thing we want to do with it? Well, we want to cool down the gases it has and recycle the carbon dioxide. Well, ideally, we would be able to steal the heat. Let's say it's 1,000 degrees, we want to steal the heat to put it inside of our heating system. But if it's too cold, we want to just cool it. Then we can recycle it. I think we'll just have to cool it. Just have to bite the bullet and cool it manually, and not transfer the heat. That's a lot of heat that we're gonna be wasting if I do that. But what kind of system would I do to have this thing steal the heat? Don't we have heat exchangers? Heat. Yeah, heat exchanger. Large direct heat exchanger, counterflow heat exchanger. Ugh, it's expensive. Small direct heat exchanger. Let me check. Liquid, gas. Equals the temperatures of the two input networks. And then does it have an output? Pipe input. Meh. Radiators won't work. Heaters, meh. Radiators, that's not what I want. Convection. I can use these convection radiators for cooling down. But I want heat exchangers. Well, you know what? I think we can work this out. I can have like a smart valve that when I'm dumping the gases and it's hot, it'll exchange the heat with my heating system, and as the thing cools down, it'll close so we can retain the heat, and we can have the smart valve close. We can cool down the thing continuously until it's cool enough to get the gases, the CO2, into our reserve. I think we'll have to use not just convection radiators, but that'll be part of it. But we'll have to use an air conditioner, because that thing won't. It'll be more efficient. It will be more precise than having a direct convection radiator to the outside, will cool continuously, even to the point of transforming my CO2 into liquid CO2 and into ice CO2 and break all my pipes. So yeah, we can use an air conditioner for the cooling. On one side of the air conditioner is going to be just a bunch of pipes that leaves outside. Doesn't matter, really. It'll be less efficient, but whatever. And as it cools down, there'll be another smart valve that's going to be opened until it's like too cold and it'll close. Yeah, I think that works. And hopefully that should keep most of the heat that I want into my system. Actually, I could use the air conditioner and just dump the heat into my heating system. Just straight up. That could work. But now there's a issue that there might be too much heat. When do the pipes melt? Let's see, insulated pipes. Where is it? Melt at 1200 Celsius. Flash point at 700 Celsius. No, auto ignition at 1200, so it catches on fire at 1000 degrees, or has a chance, or whatever. But does it melt? Meh. You know what? I'm gonna do that system of an AC unit that's gonna be dumping the heat into the heating system, and we'll just scale it up to infinity, I guess. Is there any way for me to control? Oh, it's gonna be either pressure or heat that's gonna be bursting the system. I can have a valve for the pressure, but I'm not sure about the heat because we want this to be super hot. But meh. Meh, we'll just let it catch on fire. Let me make a fire extinguisher, you know what? That's what we'll do. Oh, hey, the storm is over, so we can start. We can start storing our stuff. Okay. I think my battery charged up. It's hard to say. We'll see, the base battery should be full by now. How's it looking in there? Yeah, it doesn't seem all that charged up. Okay. Time to store all these lathe components in here. Okay. And also some of the crafting materials, so plastic sheets, the iron sheets. You guys go on the other side. Okay, let's go get the others. And also the materials. Okay. Let's first go with the materials, I think. Let's see how much we have to store. If it's even doable. It's close, but we won't be able to do it in one trip. Alright, good to know. Yeah, it's just not gonna happen. Oh well. This should be enough, but I'm gonna have to empty out all this stuff. Okay, so you guys, time to deconstruct you. That's the mod here. Next, sheet, wires, then the sheet again, and then the actual machine. Good. Next, you, same thing. Okay. Wasting caution again. It's because we're playing on super hard mode. Otherwise, our needs would not be that fast, that hard, that often. Just empty the waste tank in here, it's fine. A bit more carbon dioxide for the plants. And nitrogen. Okay, that's done. Our battery is looking a bit weak. But now we have a bunch less stuff in here. Look at that. It's getting a little roomy now. Before we leave, let me just take care of my needs one more time. So water and foods. Thanks. Thanks. And batteries, maybe? Sure, battery. Okay, let's go. Actually, our air tank is looking like half empty. So, let's do that air tank too. Oh, stop it. Okay, that was almost over pressure. That was a fast one. Yeah, once we have the atmospheric section done in the new base, we can use a suit storage. And that can do all this suit maintenance on its own, as long as we pipe in the correct gases. Okay, let's go. We recharge the battery. We have all the lathes, but we don't have the materials for the lathes, because that'll be just too much stuff to carry. So we have to do another trip. Let's go while it's daylight hours. Is the sun rising, or I think it's setting? Let's hurry. I don't really have a compass, so I don't know what's north or south. Meh. It's probably fine. So we have a bunch of cables, which means we should be able to cable in all the new layers at a new base, hopefully. Which means we won't be locked out of making stuff. Presumably. Maybe. Oh, it's a bit dark in the valley. Well, that's fine. Just means the sun sets. Yeah, we get like half. We get like half of daylight in there. Well, thankfully, the sun gives us barely any power anyway, so we were never going to go for solar power, so it doesn't really change much. It's not like it's the moon or Mars. We're way further than that. Okay, so I'm gonna guess that all my batteries are at full power because of the storm surge. Let's see. Okay. Count down here. That's the wrong thingy. That's the correct thingy. I want the auto lathes first because this can print wires. Yep, they're at full power. So auto lathe is gonna have some space laterally and on both sides. I think that's fine. Yeah, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Let's start building. Up. Okay, next some wires. Next some plastic. Then a screwdriver. Again. Boom! Okay, while we're here, we can also build... that's the tool manufacturing? Tool manufacturing. Sure. Is it? The pipe bender. Nah, that's fine. So there's going to be a stacker here to more easily manage our printing. So let's give it some space. Put the pipe bender here and the electronics printer. That's a bit too far away, actually. So let's say stacker here, some free space. That's fine. Stacker here, free space. That's fine. Okay. Let's start building. I need more of these stuff back there. Yep. And also pick you up. That's the tool manufacturing. Thank you. We can put the tools on this side. That should be fine. Yep. Okay, and then we can have like storage. We can have some lockers or something. That'll be fine. So, let's get to work. That's the tool printer mod. Iron sheets. Whoops. Not plastic sheets. Next, the cables. Next, plastic now, for real. Next, screw drive. Next, the mods. Okay. And now we just hook it all up to the same network. Come on, like this. Okay, and then there's gonna have to be some kind of like vertical connection over here. Like that. Okay. You can like go over here. No, there's gonna be a stacker. So that's gonna be stacker space. And here can be the cable space. Okay. And we just hook it up to the APC. Boom! So that should all be in working order. Yep. Yep, let's just test them to be sure. Yep. Okay, so they all work. Next. I would like to have the airlock functioning too. Well, for now we don't need to, but soon-ish we'll have proper heating in here. Yeah, you are the main power line. You go on the rooftop. So, regular cables can't cross with the heavy cables, but pipes can cross. So, if we need to, we can have some pipes run from atmospherics to here and traverse these thingies. Okay, let me connect from there. Can you go around the corner? Yep. Some doors are wonky about what gets to go through and or not. Okay, that's a bit uncoordinated. Boom! Connected. Are you all wired up? The answer is yes. Let's crank up the transformer. Let's turn on the PC. Are you not working? Am I missing a connection? No? Is this backwards? Ah, that's what I thought. There we go, it was backwards. Ooh, these airlocks have integrated lights. Fancy. What's it look like if I go outside and turn off my lights? Ooh. I like it. Okay, well, that's cool. Anyway, we need a data disk to start programming the airlock. So that'll be coming later. And anyway, we don't want to have a bunch of cold gas in our pipes. So, not yet. What do I want? I want to get started on atmospherics. Which means I think we should go for the furnace first. Maybe, so we can start trapping heat. So let's say this is the end. Let's say, imagine this is the end. Actually, no, we should... I can't start with the furnace. Because that's gonna be the last thing we do because it's gonna be outside. So the first thing we should do... So let's say it's gonna be like the furnace and the heating is gonna be all in the same corner near the outside. So inside, what do I want? I think I want my air distribution around here and the waste gas recycling. Well, it's all gonna be the same system, just two different pipes. So waste gas recycling, air distribution here. I'm gonna need some giant air tanks. I guess they can work. They can work on the outside, as long as they're insulated. What else do we need? We can have base cooling in like this corner here. Okay, one thing at a time. Let's go. We also have to get some ice crushers here. But before that, we need to get the materials in here. Let's do that. And once we have the materials here, we can start printing whatever we need. So we want air distribution around the base, waste gas recycling, which is going to be the same system. There's going to be a series of filters and mixers to have 1/3 carbon dioxide, 1/3 nitrogen, 1/3 oxygen at 101 kPa. And whenever there's waste gas, I can just repipe them to the filters. Actually, no, that's gonna be like an extension. I'm gonna have to put a bunch of filters first, then pipe in these gases into the reservoirs, and then from the reservoirs to the gas distribution. Yeah. And also we'll need a volatile fuel ice crusher machine thing. Or should I also go for the reservoirs? I'm not sure. Technically, we have infinite oxygen on this planet. On this moon. But I'm not about... Well... I guess I'll have to use the oxygen... Meh, whatever. Cooling... Base cooling should be not too hard. Also have an air conditioner hooked up to the outside and here, inside the base, regulating for 20 degrees. And the heater can turn on when it's about 10 degrees, if it ever gets that cold.
Waste tank caution.
The only thing is, once we have the system for waste gases, apart from my waste gas bottle, I'm not sure how I can configure my vents to cycle gases. Apart if I do it manually, or if I have like one vent that's constantly pumping. So I always have one vent that's always pumping gases back into the system. But then that would mean that we use full power for the system all the time instead of having it turn on and off. So, whenever. We'll see. Oh, also need a weather alert. We can have the weather alert in the workroom. Waste gas caution. There we go, fixed. Okay, so we're here to pick up the materials and refill our needs. So let's do that. Okay, bottle is here. Make sure it's pressurized. Okay, that was fast. Power, I'm gonna swap. We can take a drink and eat some food, sure. Okay, and it's back up. Let's get these things into the rover. Okay. Ooh, and I also have a bunch of atmospherics devices, which can be filters or AC units or whatever that we'll have to bring. Meh, we'll figure it out. It's fine. Nope. Yep. Whoa! That
Critical.
was my jetpack bottle, which should be just pure nitrogen. Okay. Let's get back over here. Thank you. Okay, and oh, almost forgot the constant tent. Anything else we need to do before we leave? Oh yeah, these things. Oh, we have pipes too? Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Is that like one pipe? Yeah, that's one pipe. Well, we can pick it up. Before, yeah. Yeah, it fits. Okay, that's everything. Time to go back to the base and start manufacturing our stuff on site. Okay. Now the issue is I can't really turn on the atmospherics before we're done with the construction and we have our base all sealed up. So I think we'll do the botany section and the living space. And once they're all like built, then we can turn on the atmospherics and we can fill out. We can have the rooms out, but without all the furniture, and we can fill them out as time goes on. Actually, that's not true. I'm gonna have to put down the air support systems before I turn it on, so I'm gonna have to have all the piping done, all the wires laid. Oh well, we'll figure it out. Okay. I do wonder with this much bigger base if all my waste heat will still be enough to compensate for the cold out and outside environment. We'll see. Because I much rather would like to have to cool down the base than to have to heat it up. Because it's much more resource intensive. Well, it just needs me to be actively mining ices to heat the base. Whereas cooling it, I can just use electricity for that. Actually, I could just also use heaters if we have a bunch of power, which we don't. I mean, I guess we don't know how much power we have, but oh. Okay, it's gonna be a bit annoying to work with, but whatever. Let's put everything inside the pipe bender. Actually, everything that makes sense. So iron. Yeah. Small iron in here. Electrum in here. Steel in here. Extra iron. Okay, gold in here. Extra iron in here. That's what? Constant tent in here. Okay. Then get me some copper. And more stuff. Copper, Solder, we're almost out of solder. Alright, I'll try to remember that. That steel, I can put some steel inside the electronics place. We need silicon in here. Whatever these are, we don't need those. I'll put some copper in here. Is that everything? I think that's everything. Let's see. Yep. Okay. Let me place down some atmospheric devices. So for example, let's say we're gonna have base gases going around here, in here. We're gonna have a bunch of mixers here. Let's say we have waste come from here and gas going out there. Waste coming from here means we would need a filter. Actually, it can be closer to the exit because I can just dump the bad gases out. So we have the filter here. What will it filter? Actually, we're gonna need 2 filters because we have 3 gases that we want to keep. So yeah. Okay, in that case, let me just replace them. So I want filtration here. It's gonna filtrationate oxygen, nitrogen, and then the third one is gonna filtrationate carbon dioxide, and then they're gonna dump the rest outside. And then these guys can go out here, and I guess I'm gonna have to dig up a bit because I want to have some outdoors storage tanks. Again, oh, I'll put this on default. Oops. On flatten. There's some water ice. I'll pick it up and store it. Yeah, so outdoors I want to have some storage tanks. 1 for each gas type. That way we shouldn't have... We can just focus on production. And distribution can be... It can be 2 different things. Distribution can be its own thing. And production its own other thing. Okay. So we'll have to have 1 pipe network per distribution machine. We'll have a pipe analyzer so I can check on the condition whenever I need to. And we'll have an excess pump, a pressure regulator maybe. Whenever actually no, the pipe analyzer. Oh, what takes more power, the pressure regulator or just a smart pump, a smart valve? Oops, that's in all caps. Digital valve. That's 5 watts. What about the pressure pumps? I mean, imagine because they're pumping, it's gonna be more power. 100 watts. Okay, yeah, now we're using smart valves, which can do basically the same thing, but they require us to program them. So we'll have to program some smart valves to open up when it's too high pressure. Is this enough space? I think that's enough space. I hope that's enough space. Maybe. It should be fine. So yeah, we can have these 2. That's gonna be the waste tank that connect to the distribution. To the big old tanks. Which means we need another filter machine here to separate the nitrogen and the oxygen. Give me a sec. Here we are. We should have more machines, atmospheric machines. Now these filters do take a lot of energy. So we shouldn't program them to try and not turn on all the time. Which is what the issue with my idea for how to manage waste is, because I'm gonna have one vent always on to always filter out all the bad gases, which means these will always be on too, which is gonna be a lot of power. I can make it smart. I can have it so it detects bad gas and then it turns on, and when it's fine, it doesn't turn on. Sure. Yeah, so you have you're filtering oxygen, nitrogen, and then we gotta separate them. So just be like this. Wait, no. Can it work? We have a pipe here. Wires, wires. Pipe here, wires, pipe. Yeah, no, it works, it works. So these three filtration machines, I'm gonna have to program them. They should export everything to some outdoors storage tanks. And the storage tanks are going to be connected to around here a bunch of mixers, which are going to be mixing my air properly. Ooh, and also they're gonna have another connection. Okay, so there's gonna be like, for example, oxygen is gonna be inside the mixer, but also there'll be a pipe that goes to my suit storage, which I guess I can leave in here. Suit storage here, maybe. Nah, I should put it inside the atmospheric section. It's already less piping. I can have suit storage here, with a connection directly to the waste network, and an oxygen and a nitrogen pipe to fill my jetpack and my oxygen bottle of pure oxygen. And because it's gonna be pure oxygen, I can ditch my nitrogen filter, if that's the case. Yeah. Anyway, next atmospheric device, we want an AC unit. This one, air conditioner. Let's put it like here. It's gonna be taking in the local air, from two passive vents, and then using the outside air for cooling. It'll be base cooling. It seems a bit far though. Why did I put it that far? Yeah, here is fine. Like this. Are we gonna have issues with wires? You know what? Let's start wiring. If there's gonna be pipes that are gonna be running this way, I can have a wire run perpendicularly, like this. That won't be an issue. This will be a passive vent. Actually, I think all these machines are gonna blow. They're gonna need multiple APCs. So all this can be on one. How much power is that, by the way? Air conditioner, for example. Come on, air conditioner. That's 10 watts. That's not true. That uses way more heat than that. Way more power than that. What about the filter? Let's see. They're not here. Is it filtration? Filtration? Yeah, no, it's definitely more than 10 watts. And I'm gonna guess we're gonna need two networks. Two different APCs. Otherwise the wires are gonna explode. So all this stuff can be on one network, and then the heating and the recycling from the furnace can be on another network. Actually, I need some wire cutters. Okay. There we go. Okay.
Power low.
I gotta connect this to the network somehow. Okay, I'm probably gonna have to redo the wiring because once the pipe once the pipe come into play, this is probably gonna be having some crossover. But for now, it should be fine. Maybe. Okay. Why is this? That's not. That's wrong. It's wrong. Okay. So that's gonna be base waste gases. This will be... what do we need to finish these, by the way? What else? Cable coils. And a screwdriver. And I'm out of cables. We're always going to be out of cables. It's definitely gonna be a headache to maintain, but it's the best I can manage, I think. Presumably. So yeah, that's gonna be waste gases. Also, I can put nearby, if I can find the place, I can put an ice crusher here. And I can have these machines just distribute my ice crusher ice as they see fit. So oxygen, basically. Waste tank, caution. Let me print out the mixers. We need 2 mixers to make my air mix. So my plants can breathe the nitrogen and carbon dioxide and produce oxygen. Okay. So it'll be 150-50 oxygen, nitrogen, and then 150-50 that mix plus carbon dioxide. Which should result in 33% of every gas. So let's go and put it around here. That's backwards. Come on. Come on. Okay. And then... boom! And we can wire it. Actually, I'm out of wires. Never mind, I can't wire it. I do think we have more than enough space for everything we need. Ooh! Also, I can put an ice crusher on this side. Let's go print one up. Ice crusher. What else do I need? A starting engine. You can print a starting engine. Right, right. What else do I need? So ice crusher for production, a suit storage. Ice crusher. I guess I can also do water. Water, huh? We're not gonna fit that stuff. There can be a water tank. Sure. In this case, I should... yeah, no, I'm gonna need you to have... yeah. So there'll be the gas pipe that's gonna be connected to the waste. Sneeze. So waste gas is gonna be distributed to the filtering. And then the water can just be connected to another... okay, it's gonna be a bit of a long turnaround, but the water pipe can be connected to a water tank. That's fine. Next, starting engine.
Hydration critical.
Anything else I really need? Let me think while the game is paused. What do I really need? So we have base cooling, distribution, air mixing, the suit storage. Do you do suit storage? No. Do you do suit storage? Yes. And we need silver. Okay, well that's not gonna happen. We need to mine silver. Okay then. So I feel like I made my atmospheric section a bit too big. Just slightly. So I had the starting engine. We need the starting engine plus the furnace. So we should have it like around here. Yeah. And this here can be recycled. I'll put this instead as iron frames, and this will be the system for the recycling of furnace gases. Give me a second to order my stuff. Okay. Let's have it 2 at least wide. Steel frames. There we go. Steel sheets. There we go. Okay, once this is put down, we'll go back. Actually, you know what? Once this is done, I'll stop the stream for today. Off stream, I'm gonna go back and take care of all my needs, and then tomorrow we can continue building. We'll have to go ahead and do the botany and living space. And you know what? I'll have the trading spot, I guess. We're gonna need, for trading, we're gonna need a lot of open space because it's gonna need the runways and stuff. So I guess we can build them up here or something. Anyway, so see you guys for today. Ooh. See you guys for today. Tomorrow we are gonna hopefully have the base more built up. Today was more of a machines, you know, internal stuff day for build. Okay, bye.